Alright everybody, it is that time of the year again. My internet has been out for exactly 1 day. That means that I am editing videos right now. As a matter of fact, I am editing a very old video. This is not something that I've done recently. I've got back into Don't Starve Together quite a bit as of late, but this is very old footage. If you are actually a Don't Starve player yourself, you might notice that right there is the old WX78. That is not the new reworked WX78. The character I'm playing right now is the old guy. So, what's going on here exactly? Why am I no-hitting the Don't Starve bosses? When did I do this? However long ago? This video right here is from 2019. I believe from February 2019. I'm pretty sure that's when it was. Yes, that is when it was, because this was right after the Winter's Feast event. I remember that, because I was actually practicing Dragonfly, and he had a cool skin, but I didn't no-hit him in time for him to still have the cool skin. But anyway, what's going on here? Why am I editing a video from 2019? That seems kinda strange to be doing this now. Well, basically, there's a long history that I have with this game, actually, and so I decided ages ago that I was gonna no-hit all the Don't Starve bosses, obviously. But what ended up happening was I no-hit all but 2 of them. The very last one I actually never even got around to practicing, just at all. And the one that I actually gave up on was one that you might be familiar with if you're familiar with the game at all, and that's Bee Queen. And the reason that I gave up on Bee Queen is because the strategy that you use to kill Bee Queen is to tank her. That doesn't work with no-hits, and you may think like, oh, just dodge, idiot, lol. No, you don't. That's not a thing that you can do at all. However, there has been many new additions to the game, and many methods of doing things that you couldn't previously do. More specifically, there's a character named Wanda, and I originally practiced Bee Queen as WX78, and the reason for that was because he gets a 50% speed boost if he's overcharged, which I thought was absolutely 100% totally necessary for Bee Queen, which it is. It is 100%. That is absolutely needed. Wanda does not have a 50% speed bonus, but what she does have is a semi-ranged weapon. She can hit enemies from a bit farther away than most characters can, and it's not a fully ranged weapon. If it was, I would consider that cheating, but it's not. It's a semi-ranged weapon, so I think that that's fine. And that's very important, because I spend less time walking to Bee Queen, and I spend less time walking away from Bee Queen. And, I think I might be going back to the Don't Starve no-hits sometime soon. So, this video is named Round 1 for a reason. It doesn't have those 2 bosses in it. However, there are 4 more bosses that have been added to the game since I last did this. And I will probably be trying to no-hit all of those as well. Now, I have not actually talked about this fight at all, or about any of the other fights. So, as you can see with Dragonfly, I have this entire thing encased in stone walls. None of the little dudes that he's spawning can get out, and that's fantastic, right? That's really important. It lets me get lots of extra hits in while she's spawning things, which is important, because if this video was 40 million years long, you probably wouldn't watch it. You probably aren't watching it anyway, because it's an hour long. That's a lot of time, you know. I respect that. Fair enough. Why aren't I playing Wolfgang in this? This would also be during the time where old Wolfgang was a thing, where he also had a 50% speed bonus, but he had double damage. And the correct answer is, I'm stupid. That's it. That is really and truly it. I just kinda thought that double damage was way too OP and decided against it. That's really all there is to it. I thought that was lame. And, you know, bosses are a lot harder when you don't have double damage. But, so how does Dragonfly actually work? Because this is actually, like, one of the most interesting fights in the entire game. Dragonfly can swing at you while she's moving, unlike literally every other boss in the entire game, or any enemy in the entire game. And that's really bad, because most of the time, if you start swinging at something, you can move away and they won't be able to hit you. But with Dragonfly, you have to move away at a very precise time so that she is still standing still whenever she swings at you, and if you move away too late, she's going to hit you. If you move away too early, then she's going to start moving, and when she swings at you, she'll be moving, and thus she's going to hit you. So all of that's bad. I don't want any of that to happen, right? So I have to time every time that I run away from her pretty precisely. And that's really, 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 really hard, and this took me a very, very long time to do. Other than that, I don't know, I don't really have much else to say about that. You can clearly see whenever she is approaching me, I will use my ice staff to, like, kind of hit her a little bit, stun her for a second, so that I can get into her radius and then get out really quick. And, otherwise she would do the thing I was just talking about, where she moves and I get hit, and that would be bad. Anyway, she's dead, and I haven't talked about her really at all. On to the next one.
Wow. Okay. Never again.
So this right here is Klaus. This is probably my favorite fight in the game. Casually. For no hits, this is pretty terrible and very, very, very slow. One of the longest fights in the game, as a matter of fact. There's only one fight that is longer than this when you're trying to no-hit this thing. Normally, you can be very, very aggressive with this fight, and there's plenty of things that you can do to just pile up so much damage in so little time. But the no-hit strats for this is a lot different. And the reason for that isn't even because I'm concerned about getting hit. The reason is I'm concerned about those spells that those deer are casting. So, what in that case, you know, what constitutes a hit, really? Because the spells don't hit me, really. They light me on fire, they freeze me, they deal like kind of a passive damage, sort of. I basically decided that a hit is anything at all that deals damage to me, that lowers my armor durability, whatever, you know? And that's what I went with. So I decided if I ever go below 400 health, if I hit 399 for any reason, that was a hit and the run was void. So why exactly is this fight so bad when you're trying to no-hit it then? The reason for that, like I said, is these deer casting spells, specifically the fire deer. Because with both deer, with the ice deer, you can run like a little bit away and you will be out of its radius, and it will not cast a spell on you at all. And that's important. I believe, I could be wrong about this, but I believe with enough speed you can actually get out of the Ice Deer's radius without taking damage, but still having the spell go off, I think. So like, he casts a spell on you, the ice circle appears at your feet, and I think you can get out of the ice circle without taking damage with the speed that I have. I could be wrong about that, I don't remember. Again, this was a long time ago that I did this. However, the Fire Deer has a much larger radius. You can see I'm going way farther away whenever the Fire Deer casts his thing, and he also lingers for a long time. So like, I get out of the Ice Deer's radius and then I immediately go back in and I'm fine. With the Fire Deer, I have to get out of his radius and stay out of it for a bit before I come back. Otherwise, as I'm coming back, he will cast the fire circle on me, and if I'm on that fire circle for any amount of time, I will take damage. We'll take 1 damage, but that's damage, and that don't count. So right here, we are at the halfway phase. He has spawned 2 Krampus, and when I played this game, I sucked. You know, like, I sucked at the game, and this was actually incredibly hard. I was so bad at kiting Krampus. And I never really got better at it. As a matter of fact, I fully expected, while watching this, because I am watching this for like the first time in ages, I expected me to just pan flute them and then continue on with the fight, and when they wake up they would just ignore me, because that's how they worked, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did for a while. But I guess I thought that was lame at some point and just decided to kill the Krampus. So, good job me, I guess. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that I'm like actually killing them. That's neat. But anyway, they're dead. Don't have to worry about them anymore. I do have to worry about Krampus. Or not Krampus. I distinctly do not have to worry about Krampus anymore, actually. I have to worry about Klaus. Klaus still has 50% health remaining for phase 1. He does have 2 phases. And, I actually remember this. I lost a run with Klaus having 100 health left, 2 hits from death. And it might have been the run, like, literally right before this, I'm not sure. So I was taking things real careful after that, which kind of contributes to this fight being a lot longer, but that's how no-hits are, I guess. Yep, the casual strat for this is actually not ignoring the magic deer, but like almost. Basically, so like he's going to cast his ice thing right here. Instead of running out of its radius, because you shouldn't even have enough speed to run out of its radius the first time you fight this dude anyway, what you do is as the ice deer starts casting its ice magic, you just run to the other side of Klaus. So like I'm on the right now, and it would cast the ice on the right side, so you just go to the left and keep hitting him, and you can get in so much more damage, and the fight is so quick because of that. Like, you are just absolutely pounding him the entire fight, and with no hit, you just can't do that, because if you are in those spells for any amount of time, then it's over, and that really sucks. That really sucks. You can see I do have several football helmets in my inventory. I was practicing this fight whenever I first started doing this. I had to roll back many, many times. This is not my first time fighting Klaus. But, I believe some of these fights I actually just had a football helmet on because I just needed the practice. So he's dead now, and that's really cool. He's gonna start phase 2 now, which is even worse. He has this lunge attack now, which I don't want no part of. You can technically do the thing with Dragonfly where you get him to attack you while standing still, so he'll like do the belly chomp at you, but he won't actually lunge at you because you're so close to him. I don't want nothing to do with that. I just run away from it every single time. I have the speed, why not? Who cares? That attack was... Again, I did this when I sucked. I could not touch that attack. Even with the amount of speed that an overcharged WX-78 with a walking cane and magiluminescence has, I couldn't do it. It's just so much more consistent to run away from him. Whenever he does a screech like that, that's a little bit of free damage. It's not a whole bunch because he's gonna do the magic deer attack pretty shortly after, and you gotta run away from that. Because you do have to be out of its radius before it starts it, so you have to run like the moment the deer start doing something, or even like before that. I don't really have a lot more to say about this fight, actually.
Get away from me, Battlist.
I heard me say something, I don't know what it was. But yeah, there's really not much else left with this fight, really. It's just, we're doing this until the very end. I don't... Oh yeah, I didn't even have a thermal stone on me. Which was weird. I think that was something to do with practicing no-hits or something? Doesn't make any sense. Oh no, I just don't have a thermal stone on me because why would I care? Because I'm overcharged WX-78 before the friggin' rework. This dude literally can't freeze for any reason if he's overcharged, by the way. Like, why did Clay think that this was okay? I don't know. We're just gonna give him a light radius always, we're going to give him plus 50% speed always, and just make him completely immune to winter. Why not, man? You know? Like, who even cares? I have no idea why he, like, tried to do a magic attack, but failed right there. I actually... Just a second ago, he actually did the lunge attack while standing still. That's probably the only time in this entire fight that he does that.
Is not ruining this run.
Oh yeah, I remember being, like, very scared of two things during this fight that weren't the boss, and that was cat coons, who will just smack you if you get too close, because... Get away. He actually did the belly lunge again. Neat. And there was also an open sinkhole pretty close to here, so I had to worry about not getting too close to the basilisks. I am terrified of that cat. That cat can just obliterate all of my hopes and dreams so quickly if it wants to. And it probably has. I don't remember if it has or not, but maybe. That sounds funny, so I'm going to imagine that cat has ruined a run before. That right there is the enemy of all things ever. Literally, bro, if you have played this game, you know what the autosave is capable of. You are going to die. The autosave will obliterate you. There are no enemies on screens, there's no darkness, there's no threat at all, but the autosave is gonna come in and absolutely obliterate you because it's the autosave. That's what it does. Your movement is jank, you are not where you think you are, the bosses, the enemies aren't where you think they are, the trees are just in the sky, who knows? Who knows, man? The autosave can do anything it wants to. I am now being incredibly careful because we are very close to the end of the fight, and I am completely traumatized from losing the fight so close to the end that one time that I swear happened. I don't have anything else to say about this. I'm just saying words. This fight is so long, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, why is no hit so terrible? Oh, and I plan on doing this again, probably? Oh man, I don't even know, dude. So yeah, let's talk about that. I plan on doing this again. So this is round 1, as I said. We have not done 6 of the bosses. 2 of them actually existed at the time I was doing this. And I don't know. I think I can do Bee Queen with Wanda. I don't think I can do Bee Queen as any character at all, except for Wanda. And that's a maybe. I mean, obviously, like, Walter with his slingshot exists, but, like, you can just use literally, like, any range. You can use blow darts. You can use gunpowder. I'm not gonna do that. That's so cheap and not fun. But, like, as far as actual melee attacking bosses goes, I don't know if anybody will ever do it with a character that ain't Wanda. And as it currently stands, I don't think anybody's ever no-hit Bee Queen before. And that's another thing that's actually pretty interesting. We're close, very close to the end of this fight. Literally right there. At the end of the fight, the deer actually try and smack you. So nice. That's terrifying. Okay. Though the fight is technically over. This is Deerclops, except he's looking a little funky. This isn't how Deerclops is normally supposed to look. Also, I have a face cam. Crazy. I don't know why I had a face cam for this, but not like all of the other ones. Anyway, so this is the Winter's Feast Deerclops. The Winter's Feast is just the winter event of Don't Starve. It happens, I think, starting in December and ending in January, February, or something like that. And it reskins all of the bosses. Deerclops looks all dark and evil-y and cool and stuff, and he's given this laser attack, which makes him quite a decent bit harder. I have enough speed because I'm using a walking cane and I'm on a road. I don't actually think I used the Magiluminescence for this fight at all, because I didn't think I needed it. I'm also not using a Dark Sword, because who the hell's using a Dark Sword on Deerclops? At least, like, the first time that you kill Deerclops. You know, like, the first time that you kill Deerclops on day 307, I think that says? I can't really tell. The text is very tiny from what I'm looking at. Anyway, I really wanted to try and recreate the stuff that you would reasonably have the first time you were fighting each of these bosses, and you're not gonna have like a Bee Queen crown the first time you fight Deerclops. You're not gonna have Dark Swords, probably, unless you're like pretty good at the game, which I'm not, so we don't got a Bee Queen crown. Ignore the fact that I literally have jelly beans in my inventory. But yeah, this is a fun fight. The main difficulty of this fight isn't the boss itself, it is the nightmare creatures that spawn. That is forever and always going to be the only challenge of fighting Deerclops if you know what kiting is and know how many times you can smack Deerclops. I didn't deal with nightmare creatures during this fight, because I kind of have 300 sanity and didn't want to deal with that, but I also just kind of got lucky anyway. Could I have dealt with this if shadow creatures were existing during the fight? Yeah, probably. It would have taken a lot longer, the video would have been longer. I don't know. Anyway, Moose Goose looks weird. Again, this is Winter's Feast Moose Goose. And we are actually overcharged for this. We weren't overcharged for Deerclops, because why would you be overcharged for the first time you encounter Deerclops? But why would you be overcharged the first time you fight Moose Goose? That doesn't really make a lot of sense either, though it is spring. It is spring, which means that you are going to get struck by lightning a decent bit. Honestly, I didn't want to be overcharged for this, like, legitimately. I think I did this... I might have done this after Dragonfly? Or something? I can't remember. But I did this after a different boss that I wanted to be overcharged for. Because, the fun fact, the order that I'm showing you these bosses aren't the order that I killed them in, they're the order that you're pretty likely to see them in like a casual playthrough. You haven't seen, like, the Ancient Guardian yet, because I said casual playthrough, and you know what? People who just started playing the game, they don't rush the ruins, they don't know what the ruins are. So, we're doing this instead. And again, this is a very common theme here. I suck. I didn't even rush the ruins at this time. I only went to the ruins during the summer. That's just how I played the game. I waited until summer, when everything was hot and bursting into flames constantly, and then I went down underground where things weren't bursting into flames, and then I did all the underground stuff during the summer. That's how I've pretty much always played. I'm no longer doing that. I am rushing the ruins now with Wanda, because awesome. But that's what I did at the time in 2019. Playing the video games. This Goose is not particularly exciting. I am like moving around quite a decent bit, missing out on some damage. Right here I'm missing out on damage because I'm terrible, but usually I'm missing out on damage because I don't want to get her too far away from her nest because she'll de-aggro and then her AI gets weird. Main problem, kind of, is these dudes, because I don't usually wear armor while I'm fighting these guys. I just put my umbrella on and start smacking them. It's never bitten me in the ass before? Also, I have my umbrella on here as WX78 when there's lightning, which would, like, benefit me a lot. Why am I doing that exactly? Because it's raining. Because I will take 1 damage from the rain every 5 hours as WX78. Oh my god. Hate that. Yeah, that is why I have to have the umbrella, to protect myself from the rain while there's lightning that heals you to full every time it strikes you. I actually killed this dude, and then thought that there was another one for like the next 4 minutes or something, so I was running around everywhere looking for that dude, and spoilers, I couldn't find him. Anyway, this is the most interesting thing here, I believe. It is also a very long fight. Mostly because I didn't understand how it works, also because it's really hard. So, how do you kill these dudes, exactly? Because normally the strategy is you kill the knight, which is that little hunchback dude who's like chasing me like a madman, and then you kill the bishop, and then you kill the rook. And
hey, knight, could you not be off screen?
I will talk about what I said there in a moment. That doesn't work, because if you kill the knight, then the bishop and the rook upgrade, and the tier 2 bishop will always hit you whenever he attacks, no matter what your speed bonus is. So that doesn't work. So what I do here is I theorized, what if I kill the bishop first, and then I kill the knight, and then I kill the rook? How would that work out? And the answer is poorly, but it works, sort of. So, what we gotta do here is we kill the bishop, and now I'm going to have the rook just every so often teleport to where I am and just try and chomp me. And that's really annoying because most of the time that he does that, I'm going to be like wanting to hit the knight. Because, again, this fight takes forever. I need to deal as much damage to the knight as I can. And if I'm going to be interrupted by the rook attacking me, then that sucks. I also very specifically have to kill the knight first, because if I kill the rook, then the knight will upgrade again, and also go back to full health. And the tier 3 knight has what you would refer to as range. He can hit you from across the cosmos. I don't know what his deal is. It's not okay. In fact, the tier 2 knight, he can't hit you from across the cosmos, but like from across the country, maybe? Probably. So, yeah, that's why I'm in my base that is covered in road, because I absolutely need this road for the extra speed bonus to get the hell away from the knight. And, yeah, that's basically it. The main idea is I have to bait out the knight's attack, and then just a split second after I have to bait out the rook attack, so that he chomps down on me right before the knight starts doing stuff. And by doing stuff, I'm just saying words, because I don't know what words to say. But what I meant is I need the rook to chomp down on me right before the knight becomes vulnerable, and I knew about this hound attack because this fight took me many tries. I couldn't do anything about it. I'd much rather have a hound attack not be a thing during the fight, but I literally didn't have a choice, because you can only summon these dudes on a new moon. So it's either summon them now and have a hound attack, or summon them in another 20 days and also maybe have a hound attack. Maybe, I don't know. Because every other fight you just start like right after a hound attack and you'll be fine. But this one you start when it tells you to start it. So that's unfortunate. I also didn't figure out entirely how this fight worked until after... Not even after. I figured out how this fight works sometime near the end of this attempt, which isn't really the best time to figure that out, but whatever, that's what I learned. Basically, if you swing at the knight while it is doing its like huff puff breathing thing right there, and he doesn't stagger, then you can hit him 4 times. If he does stagger, you get the hell away because he's about to hit you. And that apparently has a lot to do with when you start attacking him. So right there, it was fine. If I started my attack on him like just a split second later, then he probably would have done the stagger thing, and I wouldn't have been able to get as many hits on him. But I didn't realize that. So most of the time, I just either guessed or I hit him once and just assumed that he would attack me. So right there, he staggered. That means I need to get the hell away. And I think I kind of knew that, but I didn't know exactly what the deal was if he didn't stagger. Now I know that I can just get a whole bunch of free damage on him, but I didn't know that at the time. So that kind of sucks, but oh well. Yeah. I also didn't bother setting up an arena for this because I didn't care. I had a bunch of roads at my base, so like, why not just use my base? And also here, I still kinda tried to fight them, but I mostly just wanted to wait till daytime. I didn't want to deal with that. So I pretty much just stalled them during this. I also still, very clearly right there, don't know how the staggering works. Which sucks, I could have gotten in so much more damage. This fight was so incredibly hard, and I should be very proud of it, but my lack of knowledge on the fight until literally right after it just hurts like a little, you know, because like it could have been so much better. I could have killed them so much faster and just done a lot more damage and just played more optimally and looked more cool, and more cool is more good. But it didn't happen. And if I lost like right near the very end, I think I would have been okay with that, just so that I could get a better attempt on these dudes. But it wasn't meant to be. I'm gonna drink some water now, my throat hurts. Alright, we're good. Now, a thing that I forgot to explain way earlier— oh god, the autosave. Oh god, oh go. The words. Anyway. Thing I forgot to explain earlier. I mentioned the knight being off-screen when I was attacking the bishop. And that's very bad, because I lost several runs to killing the bishop, and the knight just being off-screen. So the rook would upgrade to his tier 2 form, and the knight just wouldn't. And you can't just kill a tier 3 knight and have the rook upgrade again. You have to kill a tier 2. Like, that's the end of the story. You have to kill the tier 2 knight to upgrade the tier 2 rook to tier 3, and then conclude the fight. So if the knight was off screen, then you just lose. The fight is void, try again. And that happened many times. In fact, the knight was like basically on screen many of the times that happens. I was being very careful to make sure that all three pieces were very close to each other when I killed one of them. And now we're at the tier 3 rook, and it's gonna become pretty clear that I have not fought this many times before, because literally, why was I running away so much? You literally... Basically, the idea is, when he attacks, I should run to the right, and then he will chomp at me, and then I will run to the left, he will chomp at me, and you just repeat that. But I didn't know what I was doing. So instead I did this, whatever this is. But I had the speed bonuses, so it doesn't matter. This phase of the fight is literally, do you have enough speed to outrun this attack? If yes, this phase is free. If no, this phase is literally impossible. And I have enough speed, so this is going to take a while, because this dude has a whopping 10,000 health. But there's no danger here anymore. Literally none. I'm still kind of trying to play it safe, obviously, but I think I started to get more into the groove here. This is what you're supposed to do. Just run right whenever he chomps at you. And then whenever he chomps again, just run left. It's super easy. That's all you gotta do. There's nothing else to say here. This fight is basically what you do before the Ancient Fuel Weaver. The most important thing that it gives you is the Shadow Atrium, which is a black beating heart that you give to a skeleton in... I think it's just called the Atrium. I don't know. You give it to a skeleton in a place, and you summon the final boss of the game, which is no longer the final boss of the game, but it's still cool, and it's still really hard, and I have still only beaten it like 2 or 3 times. But, gotta do this to do that fight, so this is just kinda here. He's dead now.
Yay!
Yeet.
Very cool. So this is Antlion. This dude's kinda hard. Specifically, he's kinda hard without armor, because you can see I don't have any armor in my inventory. I practiced this dude without armor, and wow, sand spikes hurt. You can also see that it is summertime. You can tell because the Antlion exists, which is only a thing that happens during the summertime. That being said, I am supposed to be overheating and dying right now, and I don't have a thermal stone or like anything to cool myself off, and I'm pretty sure those stars are from the Star Collar Staff and not the Moon Collar Staff, so those actually heat me up and not cool me down, so I don't want to get close to those either. But none of that matters because it's nighttime, and you're not going to overheat and die during the nighttime. And that's pretty much the gist of that. Antlion's almost dead. This is harder than it looks, I swear. I swear on my life, this is actually kind of difficult. Main problem with this is the spikes, like, block off your movement so they can kind of trap you, so you kind of gotta make the spikes go where you want to that won't be in your way later. That's the fight. Very cool. Alright, so I was actually about to not even upload this video. I was about to press the button that makes this video unprivated, because I private my videos so that I can like put a thumbnail and tags and all that good stuff on them before whatever. I had this video completely finished, and then I realized when I was putting in the timestamps for the video that there was no Ancient Guardian fight. Because I just forgot to put it in, so I put it in now, and this is future Cub talking to you. It's actually like past Cub still, but it's future Cub in like whatever. The joke is gone. Anyway, so this is the Ancient Guardian fight. It's literally a rook. And this is the Guardian fight from before the rework, as you might notice. This does not exist anymore. You cannot fight this boss anymore. They made it way, way, way better. They made it way more fun. They made it faster. It's just better in every single possible way. And I didn't fully know how to fight it in this. You can see I'm not doing the old cheese strat for it, where you just stand a certain distance from it, and it's between like 2 gravestones or something. I actually have a spot that I can cheese it up top there, where the gravestone meets the edge of the world. I don't like that. I think it's stupid. I play this game so that I can fight the bosses. I'm not gonna cheese the Ancient Guardian, even though it gives you a bunch of cool stuff. Like, why? Why would I do that? Even if I wanted to, I don't know how. I get that you're just supposed to, like, get a certain distance from it and start swinging and be, like, very slightly outside of its range. I don't know how people do that. I think you're supposed to hold F, and then when you hit it once, you back away like a tiny bit. I have never been able to get that proper distance before, so I couldn't cheese it even if I wanted to. I'm sure if I tried, I could do it like pretty easily, but it doesn't exist anymore, so who cares? Basically, you can see that this fight it's literally just this. I bait it to charge at me, and then I hit it once, maybe twice, and that's it. That's the entire fight. I have a walking cane, I have Magiluminescence in my backpack. I'm not using it for this fight, and I am overcharged, so I have quite a lot of speed bonuses. Still not Wolfgang, obviously. Wolfgang would have made this a lot more fun, probably, just because it'd be faster. That's why we're doing Wanda at some point, maybe. But yeah, basically all you really need to know about this is after he charges, I get out of the way, he does his little thing there, and if he just starts jumping back to the center of the arena, I can hit him twice. If he immediately, like, starts scratching the ground like he's gonna do another charge, I can hit him once. I think, and I'm not sure about this one, but I think I can actually hit him 3 times under certain circumstances. Back away and then hit him like 1 more time, maybe even 2 more times, I'm not sure. But yeah, I didn't really know that at the time. People also people didn't really care about strat finding for this dude anyway, and finding the most optimal way to do him, because the most optimal way to do him was you get him against a gravestone or a pillar, and you hold F. I'm doing it this way, like, I don't know what else to say. The fight is less than halfway finished. And I've really run out of things to say, and I turned off my fan, so the audio quality might be like a tiny, tiny bit better. And I closed my door so that like any noises from outside wouldn't be like leaking in during that. And it's already like really, really hot in my room right now, and that's not good, but I'm not gonna turn my fan on, because then the audio is gonna be stupid again. I don't even know if you can hear my fan in the microphone, honestly. I think you can hear it if it's on high or medium, so I could maybe turn it on low, I don't know. Also, if the Ancient Guardian gets stuck against like a ledge, like had he gone another inch to the right there, and been like charging into the void, he would not fall into the void, unfortunately, but he would extend his charge time by like a lot for some reason. So anytime I do that, which I try not to, he did it right there to like a smaller degree, but anytime he is like charging against the edge, I have to just kind of sit next to him and wait for him to finish, because whenever he finishes, he's going to do that like buck that he always does at the end of his charge, and that will hit me if I'm in range of him, so I have to wait for him to finish that. I can't get free damage, unfortunately. And once he does that, I just start smacking him in the face, I don't know. This really is just such an interesting fight.
Why did I do that?
I don't know what I said. I put
That's
this
just
here.
as bad as trying to attack him.
Anyway, I put this here because, as I said earlier in the video, I think, maybe I say it later in the video, I'm not watching it a second time to see where I said it, but usually what I do is I always go to the ruins during the summertime, because I'm bad at the game. I don't do that anymore, leave me alone. But I go to the ruins during the summertime, so I kill Antlion on the surface first, so that I don't have to deal with that, and since I'm on the surface anyway, then I can go underground, and then I can kill Ancient Guardian, I can kill Toadstool, Fuel Weaver, or whatever. Yeah. I used to not do this boss in the autumn. Very unfortunate. It is actually autumn right now in game, I guess. Because I did these bosses literally whenever I wanted to, because this was part of like a 600-day world or something like that, I don't know. And yeah, it is extremely hot in my room now, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna close this window curtain, and maybe that'll help a tiny bit. Fun fact, this has nothing to do with literally anything. I have never gotten a Krampus sack in Don't Starve before, ever. I have over 1,000 hours on Don't Starve and Don't Starve together combined, and I have never gotten a Krampus sack before. And I have farmed them quite a lot, and I kill Klaus like all the time. Klaus is one of my favorite bosses. I have never gotten it. It's I don't particularly know how. This fight will be over soon, I swear.
You wouldn't
Actually,
think it's
originally
that bad,
when
but then getting into
I
the
started
car
this
like
fight,
that
this
is
was like
really
one of the first harder bosses that I did. And I originally tried to kill him with Hambat, because I thought that would be reasonable, and then I realized that the fight would take 700 years if I did that. So then I swapped to Dark Swords, because I don't think I'm going to live 700 years, unfortunately.
Christ.
Very epic cave-in, we got stuff falling from the ceiling. I don't have screen shake off because I'm just the smartest individual alive. And I want to experience the intended Don't Starve gameplay. I think I'm looking at him there, checking what his health is so I don't kill him like right next to the void. And drop a bunch of his items. Because this is a no-hit and that is my primary goal, but I also want his stuff just because I like stuff, you know?
That's nice. And then I'm like constantly switching positions, trying to figure out wherever the hell my freaking walking cane is running off to.
So right there, I was complaining about inventory management. Now, if you look at my inventory, you'll notice lots of stuff. This fight is a little dumb. I'm gonna be completely real here. I don't like this fight a whole lot. This is an absolutely enormous resource dump. If you have the resources for it, you'll probably win. If you don't have the resources
I'm
for
trying to do
it,
this fight as efficiently as possible because it's so ridiculously long.
I have no idea what I said.
That means
Why
being
not?
risky.
Stop saying words, I'm trying to say words. Anyway, Toadstool is very, very easy. He just takes so much resources. You can't use a handbat on him. You wouldn't want to use a handbat on him anyway, because that would mean that the fight would take longer. And this dude has like 60,000 health or some garbage. I don't know. It might be like 50. It's something. He has too much health, is the main thing. So, basically, all he does for the first bit is he spawns these spore bomb things, mushroom bombs, whatever, He puts this little spore cloud on me. If I walk into that gas, then I start taking lots of damage. And anything in my inventory starts rotting, including a hand down. And then he does these trees sometimes. So if he has, I believe, 1 to 4 of these trees down, it might be 1 to 3, then he has 20% damage resistance. If he has a few more, then he has 40%. If he has a few more, 60, and if he has a few more, he has 80% damage resistance. Sometimes he just gets stuck trying to spawn one of those trees, like, inside of one of those ponds. So he'll just be sitting there trying to spawn one, and it just doesn't work, so you can get a bunch of damage on him. And that's really cool. Doesn't happen super often, but it's nice when it does. My strategy with this is, if he starts putting the trees down, I will continue smacking him for a little while until he has 40% damage resistance, because he has 20% damage resistance. Who cares? I'd rather get him the free damage. So I'll just keep smacking him. Right here he's actually like walking over to that little hole in the ground because he has to be close enough to it to spawn the trees for some reason, so you can hit him a bunch here. So again, I keep smacking him while he's spawning trees. And right here he has a lot of damage resistance, which I don't like, so we're just going to destroy all the trees. Weather panes. Weather panes create these tornado things. And weather panes are incredibly expensive. They take 10 down feathers, which drops from Moose Goose and its Moslings. And it also takes a Volt Goat Horn, which is a 1 in 4 drop from Volt Goats, which aren't the easiest to farm. You get like 7 of them per group or something like that. Missed a tree there. I'm not gonna have...
I thought he grabbed that.
Anyway, I'm really not gonna have a whole lot to say about this fight. Just a lot of this might be silent. I don't know. This is not an interesting fight. He really just only does this like the entire time until his final phase, phase 3, where he's at 1/3 health, and then every so often he will ground pound. Ground pounds just happen if I'm close enough to him and he hasn't done one in a certain amount of time. He'll do that, and it damages a pretty small radius around him for how big the animation looks, honestly. But I just realized I'm at 382 health, and why did I not start this fight with full health? What? I'm so confused. Whatever. Anyway, what was I saying? Ground pounds. Ground pound animation is very large. The damage it actually does to you is pretty small. And it also causes earthquakes, so rocks will start falling from the ceiling. If one of them hits you, it's a rock. It'll hurt. So yeah, that's, you don't want that. I hear a phone. Whose phone is that? No one's home. Anyway, yeah, it also shakes your screen very violently, and for that reason I had to turn screen shake off for this fight, because 1, it would look terrible on the video, and 2, it's screen shake. Why? Why is screen shake in literally any game at all? I don't know. This... I don't know. Anyway, doing this again, we're just gonna keep repeating this until the end of time. But yeah, you need like... Oh, this is actually just a natural earthquake happening right now. So you see the shadows on the ground, you just have to dodge them before a rock lands on you. They can hit you on the rebound, so you see like a rock will fall, hit the ground, then bounce up, and it can hit you as it's falling down the second time, so you have to be careful of that. Yeah, I'm also trying to save as many weather panes as I can on 7% durability, because if I use them again, it will break. And what I can do is I can use a deconstruction staff on them later to get the Volt Goat Horn back, and I believe one down feather. Down feather's not very important since it's only one, but getting the Volt Goat Horns back is very nice. And I don't really need them that much, because this is, again, this is a no-hit fight. I don't really care if I'm expending all of my resources on it. I'm just trying to get the fight no-hit and be on my way. But, again, I'm trying to some degree, replicate how you would fight these bosses normally, just without getting hit. My stars actually went out during this fight. I forgot about that.
Please?
So yeah, those stars last 3 in-game days, I believe. Or maybe like 2.5? I don't know. They weren't there. The fight hasn't been 3.5. The fight has not lasted 2.5 days, but I put them down there like a decent bit early to like set stuff up, make sure I have all the resources and whatever. But yeah, we're not at a 3rd health yet. This is stupid. Oh wait, we are at a 3rd health now. Okay, very cool. And now right here, I'm actually getting out of his ground pound radius before I start destroying these trees, because I don't want to be stuck in the animation of using the weather pane when he ground pounds, because that would hurt, and we don't like hurt. Also, you can tell what phase he's in by whenever those green mushroomy things on the ground drops. That thing that I'm running around is like to my bottom left a tiny bit. He drops those once he hits phase 2. Phase 2, literally nothing changes whatsoever. Phase 3, he does the ground pounds. Unless you're fighting Misery Toadstool, which then he has a phase 3 and a phase 4, and he does the ground pounds on both, I think? I don't know. Misery Toadstool is even worse. It's literally the exact same, but he has like double health. He has 99,999 health. It's really good and cool and awesome and stuff. So yeah, we're not doing Misery Toadstool. I might do it for when I no-hit everything as Wanda, assuming I no-hit everything as Wanda, and assuming that I just literally want the video to be worse, which I kinda don't want the video to be worse, so I might just still not do that. I don't know, like, you're not interested right now, obviously. Like, right? Right? Like, you the viewer, are currently not interested in what's happening because it's been happening for, like, a large amount of time. It's not fun. Like, you were watching me punch a frog in the face with literal nightmares. You see that all the time. Yeah, I'm starting to run a little low on Dark Swords, not really. Actually, nope, I just noticed another one that I had. Never mind. Oh wait, no, that's not another one, that's the one that I was holding a second ago. Yeah, I'm running a little low on Dark Swords. I believe that means that the fight is going to be coming to a conclusion pretty soon. Wouldn't that be nice? So the ground pounds are very predictable. I know how long it takes before he does another ground pound. I will just run out of his radius and then back in. You also have tons of time when he jumps up in the air to run away, assuming that you're overcharged WX-78 with a walking cane. But you don't need to be overcharged WX-78. You couldn't be anyway, because that's literally not a mechanic anymore. But you could have Magiluminescence, which would also work. I didn't want to use Magiluminescence for this fight because I didn't need it. This fight's not hard. It's like 5 hours long, but it's not hard, so like, who cares? I believe I was also overcharged because of reasons that weren't Toadstool for this fight as well. Also, you've seen a few times I've been eating those gears to do stuff. The two things that I'm using them for, they do three things. They replenish all of your stats, but I'm using them to get back hunger and, very importantly, my sanity. I'm going to drink water. I just love that I always insist on doing these, like, voiceover post-commentary things, like, in one take. Pretty much exclusively on videos that are, like, over an hour long. Like, let's just obliterate my voice just for no reason, you know? But I could be doing other things later, like playing video games, which I can't do when my internet is down. I actually can, but, like, shut up. I want my internet back. This fight sucks so bad. I've actually never killed Misery Toadstool before. It gives you a unique drop, but, like, it's 100,000 health Toadstool. I don't care. He's at 10% health right now. Hallelujah. I don't know, man. I just do not have anything nice to say about this fight. It's so bad. It used to be even worse. I believe this was actually, like, Clay's final attempt at making a raid boss that you needed multiple people for. Because it used to have way more health, and you used to have to kill it in 5 minutes, or else it, like, went back underground and, like, regained all of its health and stuff. And then people killed it solo anyway, and then they were like, dang, that didn't work. Alright, let's make the boss not suck ass. So then they made the boss not suck as much ass. It sucks like 90% less ass, which is still, I don't know, like 10% of a billion is still pretty bad, you know? We're close, I swear. Oh my god. I still cannot believe I didn't start this fight with full health. Why didn't I fight? Why didn't I start this fight with full health? It's... what? That would have looked so clean. Why didn't I do that? I did that for every other fight in the game. What am I doing? Also, I've said that this fight is not even, like, remotely difficult, and it's not, but it is, like, the last fight, really. Kinda, sort of. There's one fight after this that we'll be seeing very shortly. He dies, like, literally right now. Yeah.
Nice.
That was nice.
Hell yeah.
Agreed. So this is Bearger. Again, this is Winter's Feast Bearger. Was having a lot of trouble getting its attention here. He just does not care. Also, something that I haven't mentioned until right now is my cursor is in an odd location. Yeah, you can see I'm holding the lantern there, except I'm really not. I don't know what the deal with that is, honestly. I have no clue why it does that. That's just how DST captured for the longest time until I found a specific way to capture it that put my cursor in the correct location. But it's just, for the longest time I played this game, anytime I recorded it or streamed it or like whatever, my cursor would just be like down and to the right of where it actually was for some reason. I don't know. Yep, we're fighting Bearger here. This is all that happens. There's nothing remotely interesting about this fight either. We dodged, we hit a few times, we dodged the ground pound, which I think I can actually hit him 3 times before he ground pounds as well. I could be wrong about that. Not quite sure. But I just play it safe. I used to pick the lantern up for like I think 1, maybe 2 attempts of this boss that I did before this one. And then I was just like, it's a lantern. It's using light bulbs. Light bulbs are not difficult to get, but what is difficult to get is the length of this video to be ever so slightly shorter. So I started just... I left it on the ground for this singular attempt. I got like 1 more swing on him because of that, which it's worth it. It's 4 light bulbs, literally who cares? Except for me, because I'm just like staring at it the whole time, because it's like a bright object right in the center of the screen. It's just there. It's just being there. Anyway, the thing that I'm wearing on my head is the Bee Queen crown. It reverses sanity auras. So I should be losing a ton of sanity because I'm near Bearger, and that's not happening. I'm actually gaining a bunch of sanity while being near Bearger, which is pretty epic. That's all I have to say about that. Bearger's almost dead. Ta-da!